Hey, folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. This intraday analysis video is for Wednesday, October 20th, 2010. Well, folks, a monster rally negating almost the entire move from yesterday today. And for those of you that are part of the research center at In The Money Stocks or part of the chat room at InTheMoneyStocks.com, you know we talked about this good possibility yesterday. Again, we talked about it being a possible one-day occurrence. Why? Because the Federal Reserve is not going to give up that easily. Remember, China comes out yesterday, they raises interest rates. That spikes the U.S. dollar dramatically, and the Fed loses control for just one day. But as we told our members, don't expect it to be more than a one-day occurrence, and the markets have surged back up today in an unbelievable fashion. The Dow is currently trading up 153 points. Remember, we were only down 165 yesterday on the Dow, so almost negating the entire move. Dow is up again 153, NASDAQ is up 30, S&P 500 up 15, basically 1.3 to 1.4% across the board. In addition, here's the spiders. You can see clearly this is where we closed 2 days ago, and this is where we currently are. Very possible we will go to gap fill, which will be right around this 118.60-ish level. That will be a little bit of a resistance point. You can see each trend line on my chart working beautifully today. These levels, for those of you that are members, you know I showed them last night. And again, look at how beautifully they are working. The gap up right here pushes up. It pulls back right into that level. It surges, goes all the way to the green line, consolidates, goes to the pink line, consolidates, goes to the next green lines, consolidates. The next spot would be this up here. And again, market is short-term extended. Volume is getting very, very light. But at the same time, folks, the Fed is in control because light volume dictates they can control it. Yesterday they couldn't because it was more volume. It was a surprise. But the Federal Reserve is not giving up. Don't look for them to give up anytime soon. In fact, I do think we'll get some down days here and there, but for the most part, you have to assume the markets will be held up at least until or through the elections in early November. Okay, so that's number one. That's the first thing I wanted to go over with. Take a look at the dollar. Dollar, again, is the culprit here. Take a look at what we're seeing. The dollar is getting absolutely demolished. This is the big move yesterday, folks. And again, I have some trend lines on the chart we can erase for now. But this is the big move from yesterday, all the way from this open up here. Look at today. You've basically negated the whole entire move, and that's the Federal Reserve's doing right there. All right. Yesterday, the dollar rallying, they lost control. Today, the dollar almost back to even where it was before yesterday, negating it on the back of Federal Reserve actions here. And again, remember, weak dollar policy is their mindset. That's what they will continue to do in the short term. And again, you do have good support now down on the dollar. If I go to the daily chart of the dollar, there's a lot of support going back to the 2009 lows here, which we again tagged, and that's what gave us this initial bounce. But they again could easily bring the dollar back and retest this, and that should send the market a little bit higher. Again, keep an eye on it. We have had no confirmation. The proprietary techniques here at In The Money Stocks dictated that we did not have confirmation to the downside. Therefore, you had to remain cautious, and that's the right move here as the market again moving back up after falling dramatically yesterday. All right, what's the leading stocks today? You should be able to tell by the weakness in the dollar. Anytime the dollar is weak, you should first of all look at Chevron and Exxon. Anything that has to do with commodities should be having a good move. Again, Chevron up $1.62 today. Monster move there, almost going back to the 52-week highs, just not quite there yet, but getting very, very close. It's only about 30 cents off the 52-week highs at this point after being a dramatic fall yesterday. Again, negating almost that entire move from yesterday's drop. Exxon Mobil, big up move as well. Hasn't quite gotten back to 2 days ago, the high levels there, but again, almost back to that point. You can see this little pivot top of resistance right here, beautifully dictated on the charts by In The Money Stocks here and our proprietary research. And again, for those of you that want to get involved, go join the research center. That's the number one thing every trader should have, every swing trader, every investor. If you don't have that, you're going to be missing out in a major way. For intraday stock chat members, that's for if you want intraday analysis. If you have an hour a day, you pop in and listen to the commentary, listen to the calls, listen to the analysis and the teachings, then that's what you want to do. If you have all day long, then it's an obvious no-brainer. You have to make that call for yourself, though, in respect to the intraday stock chat. But the research center is the no-brainer of them all. That's every trader, investor, long-term, short-term, whatever you are, should be involved there and learn exactly the proprietary techniques that we utilize. All right, going back, Goldman Sachs today is up a little bit, up $2. They had good earnings yesterday, had a good move yesterday, up another $2 today. Bank of America, very weak today, but it does have a little bit of a short-term bottoming tail, folks. Be aware, it sold all the way down to $11.17. Now it's moved back to the highs of the day. This is a bottoming tail, and this could tell us we're going to have a little bit more of a bounce on Bank of America. Long term, I'm bearish, but in the short term, this could be a reversal signal in the short term for a move back up on the Bank of America stock alone. All right, we're not talking bearish on the whole market or bullish on the whole market. I'm talking directly here about Bank of America. Based on this bottoming tail, you have to be short-term bullish on that, okay? Next up, what do we have? JP Morgan. JP Morgan is up 60 cents. Good bounce there. Again, all these financials got crushed late last week on the foreclosure fears. And again, they've kind of been swept aside at this point. Other stocks that are having good days, Apple Computer, after dropping yesterday on earnings, it is coming back today, up $3.70. Not a big move there on Apple, but a good solid move. Also, IBM got crushed yesterday on earnings. The stock is having a big update today, up $1.50 as well. Other stocks that are in session and are moving, Intel. Intel is having a good move today. Very nice move on Intel. You can see, again, popping up today. That's the daily chart. If we go to the intraday, look at that intraday chart right there. Now, again, folks, bottom line is, if we zoom out on this market, what's driving this market today? Always remember, dollar is number one. That is the number one driver up or down of the markets. Today, we see the dollar down. What's the market doing? It's up. Yesterday, we saw the dollar up. What's the market doing yesterday? It was down. Always remember that's number one. Follow the UUP if you want to follow the dollar, or you can follow the dollar itself. That's up to you guys. All right, next up, you have corporate earnings and economic news. Tomorrow, we get jobless claims. Today at 2 o'clock, we get Beige Book. Beige Book should be key because it will give us insight into the Federal Reserve, and that will affect the dollar. Therefore, it'll affect the markets. So watch at 2 p.m. Eastern time for Beige Book. And as I said, tomorrow you have the key data coming out on jobless claims, which, again, will be important in terms of how weak is the market, how strong is the market, what's going on here. All right. Other than that, just follow corporate earnings. Tomorrow after the bell on Thursday, you have Amazon. That will be a mega stock play. Boeing reported this morning, and again, that was a pretty solid move. Also, some key plays in the airline sector did have good earnings as well, and those are keeping the market up. Transports are having a pretty solid day on that as well. But Boeing, here's the chart of Boeing. You can see up $1.65 today. Pretty solid move, although it does seem like it's stalling out up here. All right, going back to the SPY, let's just touch base. You can see a small pullback continuing off of this area. If you surge higher towards the end of the day, look for this area right up here, 118.55 to 118.65. Double top will be good resistance. It's also gap fill. Have a great afternoon, great evening. Let's go make some money in the intraday stock chat and in the research center, folks. Join up now. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.